Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby. I'm with Fitness is Medicine. Today I'm going to show you another great workout you can do in your home. And we're going to start off doing some push-ups. I'm going to show you a new way to do some push-ups. So remember to come into these workouts warmed up and ready to go. You want to do 5 to 10 minutes of cardio, get your heart rate up, get your muscles warmed up. This helps to avoid injury. It helps to get your circulation going and help you perform at your peak. Okay, so push-ups. If you do regular push-ups and you are confident in them, go ahead and start doing those. We're going to do 10. The other way you can do them, remember you can always do them on an elevated surface. So either, up here like on a treadmill or on a counter or even against the wall. I'm going to show you another modification here using a fit ball. So if you have one, go ahead and grab it. And we're going to start off, I'm going to start kind of back here so I can roll forward and demonstrate here. Rolling forward on the fit ball like this. And what this does is it takes some of your body weight out of the equation. So you can start as close as here with the ball like right on your thighs or your hips and do push-ups like this. You can walk further out and do push-ups. This will be a little easier than doing them on the floor. So you can kind of find where holding your body weight it is. And also if you do push-ups regularly and you want to try a little bit more of a challenge, you can try this. And the further out you walk, I'm going to start a little further back. The further out you walk, the more challenging it'll be. So thinking about long and short levers, if you're thinking about physics, the longer your lever here, the more difficult it will be. So if you have it on your ankles, that's going to be more challenging. So you can find your method here. The form remains the same. So no matter if you're doing it on the floor or on a ball, the form remains the same. I'm still keeping a straight line. I'm on my knees here. I'm on my toes here. All of it remains the same as far as keeping a straight line all the way from the top of your head down through your heels. So try one of those methods and see if you can find a kind of a new way to do it that may be more or less challenging depending on where along your body you put that fit ball. Okay, next we're going to come up to our feet and do a split stance lunge or a split stance squat, depending on who you're talking to. So I want you to hang on to something for balance, for a little bit sturdy. I want you to get a good wide stance here with your feet. And then we're just going to go straight down. So you're going to go down into what looks like a lunge. It's, like I said, it's either a split stance squat, a split stance lunge, whatever. But we're just, if your feet are too close, it'll be hard to get a really good form. So you really want to have a good wide stance with your feet. So I've got a good, 3 feet or so between my feet here. And I'm just taking my body and going straight down towards the floor. So just like if I were to kneel down here, that's what you want to do. So you can keep this as small or as large a range of motion as you need or want, depending on if you have knee pain or hip pain or anything like that. But when you go down, think about putting your weight in this front heel. You're going straight down, keeping your chest up tall. That's why I want you to have something to hang on to here. So if you want to challenge your balance, you don't have to hang on to something, but it helps with your form. So we're going to do 10 on one side. I think that was 6. Just go straight down. If you need a smaller range of motion, you can do that. Just your foot is still your heel. Your weight is in your heel. And when you come up, I want you to think about squeezing that front leg glute. So all the way down, somewhere in the middle, or just a tiny little pulse is fine. Wherever you are pain-free and you're still working on those muscles. Let's do one more good one. Now we'll switch sides. I'm gonna make sure my screen is on here. So I'll turn around. Just make sure you put your other foot in front. Nice and tall, good. Wide stance here, forward and back. And you can, so I'll show you, bring this down just a bit. Now my feet are not like in a tandem stance. You know how when we do balance, we've got a tandem stance going? You can spread them out just a little bit as far as, you know, they can be pretty narrow or they can be a little bit wider, but that's why I want you to do it with a little bit of balance. Just kind of step straight back and then we're gonna go straight down. So keeping your chest up tall, eyes forward, weight in that front heel, and then make sure this knee stays right over that ankle and doesn't cave in at all. So you don't want it to do this. So watch that. Find your range of motion. You can do it just a small range of motion right in here, really squeezing that front leg glute. Nice and easy, keep breathing. 8, 9, and 10. Make sure when you're doing these, you're not going forward and lunging forward like this, just straight down. Okay? All right, good. Next, we're going to do kind of a side tap and crossover shoulder press. So grab a pair of light dumbbells, 3 pounds or so, and I want your feet nice and wide. What we're going to do is kind of a bob and weave punch, but not really a punch. I'm just going to have you reach. So like I said, nice and light on those weights, 3 pounds, 2 pounds. We're going to do a little bit of a squat, reach. So we're kind of tapping that back foot, not really a super deep squat, but just kind of a bob and, you know, like if you're boxing, think about bob and weave. So we're holding them here and not a forceful punch. We're just reaching. If the 2 or 3 pounds is too much, just do it with body weight. You don't have to add a weight to this. I'm just working on a little shoulder strength. We're going to do 4 more each side. Just a little squat. So just kind of stick your hips back and then tap. 1 more each side. Good. And you can make that squat as small a range of motion as you need to. So you can just kind of go reach, little squat, reach, little squat. So it doesn't have to be a big one. Versus if you want more, you can do a deeper squat and then up. And then you can also add a little more weight to that if you want more involvement there. Okay, now we're going to lower to the floor again. Grab a throw pillow or a balance disc if you have one, or even a Bosu. If you have a Bosu at home, this is a great one to do on the Bosu. I do not have one here. It's at my gym. So I'm going to use a balance disc. And then if you are using a Bosu, you can put your hands on the back of the Bosu here. You can also just do this from the floor. It's fine. I'll demonstrate both. We're going to do windshield washer knees. So if you are a balance disc or a pillow, just kind of lean back like this, or windshield washer feet rather, because your knees are going to kind of stay in the middle. So you're just kind of picking them up, tapping them to the side, keeping your knees pretty close together. If you're on the floor, you can do the same thing. Just kind of lean back just slightly. If you want more, of course, you can keep your hands here, but you can put your hands just gently behind you. That will help with your low back and a little bit more support. We're going to do 2 more. 10 and 10. Good. So you're just kind of keeping your knees together, tapping those feet side to side. Okay, now we're going to stand up and do a little balance. So we're going to do a single leg stance, tapping forward and back. So if you need a visual for this, sometimes I use my little cups here. If you have discs or you don't really need anything, you can just tap forward and back. But you can tap, you know, if you've got some balance discs or things you want to use. I just want you to stand on one foot and I want you to tap forward and tap back. So you're reaching your leg forward and back. That's all we're doing here. Just working on standing on one leg, which is working on hip supporters. And now I'm tapping forward and back. So my leg, my active leg, I want you to reach out with your toe and then reach back with your toe. And then your torso is staying still. So I don't want you to, reach back like this and then reach forward like this. My torso is staying right in the middle. I'm keeping my body still as I'm slowly tapping my foot forward and back. Now the standing leg is probably getting tired. We're working on some hip stabilizers there. Make sure when you're standing on, I'm going to switch legs here and demonstrate with the other one. Make sure my camera is seeing me here. When you're doing this, when you're standing on one foot, make sure this isn't going out to the side and trying to do it. You're going to notice that it's really hard. So if you start to feel the hip kind of going out to the side, stop and readjust. Try to pull yourself up. You want to keep nice and strong on that hip, forward, back, all the way forward and back. So try to do it without hanging on if you can, but do it next to something that you can grab for balance if you need to. Like I always say, kitchen counter is great for that, your kitchen sink, so that you can hang on, just kind of do it to the side. Keeping everything stable, just moving that active leg. Ten and 10. Okay, good. Now the last one we're going to do is a little bit similar. You're going to stand on one leg and we're going to go, we're going to do sort of a combination hip abduction, hip extension. So it's not, if you're doing a hip abduction, it's straight up to the side. A hip extension is straight to the back. We're going to go in the middle. So a little bit of a diagonal back. So if you're looking at me, I'm not out to the side, I'm not straight back, I'm going to go here. So we're going to get another standing on one leg, hip stabilization here. Reaching back, like if I'm standing perpendicular to my room, I want to reach out for the corner. Reaching out for the corner of the room. You can probably hear the piano going on in the background. Keeping that hip, again, you want to really keep this hip stabilizer, this hip that you're standing on, nice and tall. And if that's really hard for you to hold for 10, then do 5 and 5. And you can even do 2 sets of 5 each time instead of a full 10. Now, reaching out for that other corner in the room. So not straight out to the side and not straight back. We're really focusing on those glutes, glute med, glute maximus. Keeping this hip nice and strong. It's going to maybe getting tired after these last two with balance and with this one. And this one doesn't have to be a balance. So do this next to your kitchen counter so you can hang on, stay nice and tall. Of course you can do it if you want to add extra balance. And 10. Okay, good. Now repeat through those so you can try those different methods for those push-ups. If you haven't done them with a fit ball before and you have one, give it a try, see what you think. And then if you want to add a little weight to your split stance lunge, if you want more of a challenge, that's an okay thing to do, of course. Go through all these exercises 2 to 3 times. You can put some cardio in between, and then make sure you cool down and do your stretches afterwards. All right, keep moving, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thank you.